You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Hello, siblings old and new, and welcome to Super Mega Crash Beyond. Now, for those of you who may be uninitiated, I am Stephen White, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Welcome in. Hello, hello.
And for those of you who are quite familiar with us, glad to see you stuck around and didn't bail out.
Right?
We told you all to stick around, but, understand if you didn't.
That's fair.
But this is kind of a reintroduction, if you will, of what we're trying to do with this show and kind of get you prepped for everything going forward, because it's not going to be like it was.
Nope.
And one of the only consistent pieces of feedback we were ever told as we did Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo is that everyone liked our chemistry. Like how we interacted, how we...
Like, we're just fun.
Yeah.
We're fun.
So, how to begin this? So, we, if you listen to some of the later episodes of the show, you would notice that we would kind of talk about whatever at the beginning, and then we would kind of eventually fade into video games. And at some point, I know we talked about it at the end of the last episode, but we were kind of feeling a little burnout with video games in general and just the whole news cycle and the negativity.
Mostly the news cycle. I like to still play games.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now I don't have to, report on all the bad people. At least that's what it was feeling like towards the end anyway. Yeah.
So we started to discuss, and I want to preface this up front. We had this plan for quite a while. Okay.
Yeah. We were kind of trying to test the waters, I think.
We weren't this. We didn't just wake up one morning and say, we're going to cancel the show, and then wake up the next morning and say, hey, you want to do another show? No, we planned this. So that's with all the social media stuff that you've been seeing and whatnot. So just be aware. But yeah, we were just, I don't know, really burnt out on that news cycle. And we thought, well, what could we do if we could do another show and try to reincorporate and maybe the brand itself of Super Mega Crash into something else. So we thought that it might be fun to have kind of a catch-all show, because one of the things that kind of stuck in my mind is there would always be something I really, really want to talk about. And perhaps maybe another show that I really liked. Maybe they were talking about it, but I didn't know them. I didn't want to force myself on them, or they've already talked about that thing.
Right. And
I just didn't have a platform somewhere to really talk about these things that I really want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, what if we just do it here? We'll do it ourselves.
Yep.
And this show doesn't have to be one thing or another. It can be anything.
Yep.
So, hence the beyond limits. We can talk about anything. So,
whatever we want.
So, if we wanted to talk about a movie that just came out in theaters and we both saw it, we're going to talk about it. If we are binging a TV show that's just so amazing and we want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. If it's something old, older movies or older TV shows. Video games, same way. If there's a video game we want to revisit, maybe there's a new game that's come out.
And
that
talk
we
about the
talk
game
about.
itself. Yeah.
Right. We're going to talk about it in depth like that. So, no more.
Heck, I might have had a bad day and I feel like talking about it with Steven. There you go.
Exactly. That's another thing that I thought would be fun too, because most of the time when we did our minis, that was just kind of our venting sessions. And we would just talk about something that's on our mind or something in the world that's just, bugging us. And
yeah, there's a lot to pull from.
Exactly. So we thought it would just be fun to have a show where we could talk about whatever's on our mind. And we hope that it's not just the topic that might interest you, but just, again, us in general.
Right.
Like it's
our thoughts on it. Why?
However it's going down in the moment. So it just sounded like a great opportunity to just rebrand, because Super Mega Crash is very Brothers Turbo. I guess I can't just call it Super Mega Crash anymore, can I?
No, you can't. No.
So the original show was the whole purpose was to be about video games. And now we just thought this gives us an opportunity to do whatever. And I'm excited about it because
same.
I don't know about you, but I've got a list.
Oh, God.
Just anything that's popped into my head, and I'm sitting there thinking, I love this. I want to talk about it. Ooh, I love this. I want to talk about it. Ooh, I want to talk about that.
Yeah,
and,
like all summer long, I just kept making notes. It's like 2 or 3 pieces of paper, front and back. Like, yeah.
So that excites me, and I thought this is something that could give us a bit of an opportunity to reach out to our siblings as well. And I feel like every week we can pose this question, and if any of you want to engage, you can. What would you like us to talk about? Is there something that excites you that you want to talk about? And maybe we can talk about it, or in some cases, because some of our listeners are podcasters themselves, we can have them join us, and then they can also explain their love and passion for this thing that they just want to talk about and have no other outlet. So we're giving you that opportunity.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, and it's not a, if you are a podcaster, you don't have to come on the show. I'll throw that out there. So if you have a suggestion.
What we're trying to say is we're open.
Yeah.
This is going to be whatever we feel like,
Open forum.
Hopefully you enjoy it along the way as well. I feel like everyone enjoyed our tomfoolery at the beginning. It seemed like we'd have some engagements in the Discord talking about just the nonsense we'd throw up at the beginning of the show.
And speaking of Discord, depending on how certain things work out on the show and how we progress everything going forward, there may be a few little tweaks and changes in the main room that was the Palace of Megapixels for Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. That is still a thing, by the way. I don't want to. It's part of who we are. Even the video game avatars are still kind of who we are. So we're not running away from that. We're still embracing that part of it. So it's us. But we're just trying some new things,
some new stuff, something that we'll be excited for again, and look forward to repeating each week instead of having to stomach it, basically.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, for example, and I do want to throw out a few, I guess, to kind of give people an understanding of some ideas that maybe we have in store. I know that by the time this episode is out, I don't remember, was it about a month? Yeah, it'd be a little over a month. So, in about a little over a month, by the time you hear this, I could probably almost guarantee you I'm going to do an episode on Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited about the game.
Sure.
We talked about the original when it came out, like, early on. Funny enough, the original one, if you've forgotten, is the very first episode that Lace ever joined me on, which was my review for Marvel Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember that one. That's always because that was...
So that was like early.
Yeah.
That was early.
Like
I think I was, 4th or 5th guest? I don't remember now.
No, you were number 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought I was
you were early on.
But...
Might have been.
Well, that was still early in my mind, 4 or 5. I didn't realize it was that early, but okay.
Actually, no, you were number 2 because you were on episode 6. And then 7, a little shout out to Gabe Gutierrez. We talked to him about Crumple.
Crumple, yes.
And then that's where our guests started to just kind of domino in. But yeah, you were number 2.
Oh, all right. There you go. See, I can't even remember where I fall in the timeline. Y'all.
Right? But yeah, so I've been looking forward to talking about Spider-Man 2. I can't wait to play it. I hope it's everything that it's promising to be and more, because...
I mean, I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling.
It's Insomniac. They're
right.
Their track record's pretty solid.
Yeah, knocking it out of the park. So until they've given me a reason otherwise,
sure,
I feel like it's okay to trust right now.
So
for now.
That's... Like I said, that's one topic I can't wait to talk about. I'm sure there are movies that are coming out that I'd love to talk about.
We always want to chat about TV shows that we're tossing back and forth to each other also, that we just, not that we still talk about them.
Sure.
It's just, you guys don't get to hear how fun we are about it.
Right.
Aren't you sad?
But now you have that opportunity.
Now
like,
you will.
For example, I know that we both watched Twisted Metal, and there's
Yes.
another video game tie-in or whatever.
Sure.
So
We're still nerds.
Yeah.
Have faith.
So I think that would be a fun episode we could do.
I kind of
whether
want to
early
complain
on.
about The Witcher also, but by the time it comes out, we probably will be complaining about The Witchered out.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't even touched the last 3 of season 3 because in my mind I'm just like, why do I care anymore?
It's getting, it was, not to, I guess go off on that tangent now, but it was different. It was different. I did finish it over the weekend, and wouldn't you like to know when we're filming this? But,
yeah.
I just don't know what else to say. I felt like it was a much slower season. I feel like they kind of, I don't know. Where they veered from the books, I'll be honest, I didn't read them all, but the hubs got to tell me. But when he was telling me what was like happened in the books to what they actually did, I'm like, no, but that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Why did we do this then instead? So maybe if I didn't have anybody to tell me, and since I hadn't read the books, I would have been the perfect audience for it, right? Because like, what frame of reference do I have except for video games? But I know those weren't completely book accurate either. So like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Rest in peace, Henry. It was good while it lasted. Thanks for joining.
It's a shame. But see,
it is a shame how it went down. I just wish we knew exactly what happened. I don't think we ever will.
No, absolutely not. Everything's mired in controversy and speculation and all that jazz. So.
He pissed off the writers. The writers pissed him off. Well, he was going to be Superman. Well, now he's not, so it's like it could have been all of the above, honestly.
Sure. And another thing, too, I know we've kind of touched on some of the things we're going to talk about, like TV shows, movies, video games, whatnot. We also said we want to talk about things that are going on in our life, but I also thought maybe it could be fun to discuss. I don't know why I jotted these down, but I remember, I think I saw an advertisement for a new mascot for one of the General Mills monster cereals, and I thought, wouldn't that be fun to talk about?
Oh,
that
now I want to
whole thing?
know.
Yeah. Count Chocula and Frankenberry, and I know you're just like, what? Why
Isn't
are
there a Ghostberry too?
Yeah, Booberry.
Booberry, there we go. Yep.
So I know that sounds really random and crazy, but
that's what you should expect.
Yeah, that's the kind of who knows scenario that you're going to get on this show. And that's another thing I would love to do too, and I'm hoping that we can maintain this over time, is I don't want there to feel like there's a pattern per se to what's coming out. So say if the first 4 episodes are, which I do hope that we have this plan this way. So maybe the first few episodes that you listen to, you're going to see maybe one's a movie, one's a video game, one's us venting, and then the next one is us talking about Cheetos or some shit.
Right, yeah. No, we're going to keep you guessing.
Yeah, so every week you're not really going to be 100% sure what we're doing, what we're talking about. Do we have a lot to say about Cheetos? I don't know. I just threw it on there.
We find a lot to talk about anything. So I would just rest assured if there was a topic that came up, we found a way to probably talk about it for 2 hours.
and it could just be about the creation of them. It could be about
There was a movie about it, right? Flamin' Hot, about how we got Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
It was actually fun.
It was.
I don't know what I was expecting from it, but it was actually a lot of fun.
That was the funny thing about when I saw the trailer for it. I thought, I don't know why I'm just intrigued by this, but I'm curious.
Eva Longoria, I think, too, where I went, wait a minute, what's going on with this? What's happening?
And it turned out to be just kind of an interesting tale. Whether it's very, very true or some of the facts are skewed, which I assume in most biography films some of the facts.
Humans aren't really that interesting every single day.
Sure.
Like, you gotta kind of amp it up a little bit for entertainment purposes. But dude, like, showed up for it, and then they had a picture of him at the end. So I guess he was a little involved with some of the stuff.
I don't know. I've heard. I think I honestly remember that business when it really became popular, and then suddenly you start hearing the stories about who created it, and then suddenly there was just scandals where people were like, well, no, he didn't really do it. It was this guy, and they're trying to take credit from him. It was like, okay.
Considering the area, the location, the everything, I think I believe more of this story than some of them trying to give the credit to somebody else.
Sure.
And I'm sorry. I absolutely adored how his wife, through thick and thin, that's the relationship anybody wants, right? And they were garbage, dirt poor. You stood up for him. They were by each other's side. And then when they were rich, now you just got to reap the benefits because, this just happened to happen along my love journey. And Cheetos.
And Cheetos. Who doesn't love Cheetos?
Right?
I mean, they're all right.
Cheeto. You get to, man, it's the best the cheese that's on your fingers afterwards. You got to tell me, do you like to lick it off? I use my teeth and I scrape and I eat that cheese up.
And you know it's even better, and it always seemed to be in the flaming hot bags. See, we're already doing an episode.
We're already doing it.
But
can't help it.
Sometimes you'd get a clump at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it was almost like finding gold, and you're just like, oh. This is just a clump of cheese.
And it's like almost dangerous because if you inhale too sharply, this could be the death of you, right?
Yeah.
But you're just like, I stare at it. Well, I'm gonna lick it. Probably gonna eat it. And then you regret it.
Because it
is too much.
A massive flavor bomb. You're just like, all the salt. All the flavor.
You instantly just shrivel up like...
Oh, yes. That's the kind of fun you get to look forward to. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to lay out every single thing that I want to talk about. I guess I'm just trying to think of the very music. That was another thing I wanted to talk about. Maybe certain bands, maybe certain songs, theme episodes. That was another thing I thought about that we could do where maybe we're just talking about... I had it written down. TV themes. That was something, because there's so many popular ones that we don't really have anymore. That could be
like they're not the same format as they were.
No.
Well, when I was growing up, and probably people older than me can say the same things once you start going into 50s, 60s, 70s. That's nothing like what we're filming today. Not even close.
And it's funny too because it's few and far between that you get these shows that will actually do a theme song. You know what I mean? It's like every now and then you'll see one, but then you'll get another show that's just like, here's an opening title, and then we just go back into the show. And
which is appreciated, to be fair, because I hit that skip button. Well, actually, the Hubs and I made a rule. Very new show. We watched the first one to pay homage to the people who created it. And then past that, sorry about it. We're done. We're moving straight to the show.
Right.
Skip it is. But,
I will say there are certain shows in which you do not skip the theme song. That would be one of the reasons we took, like, that's part of the episode. What shows do you not skip the theme because it's so bomb? You have to watch it. You can't help but watch it.
I'll noodle on that one.
Yeah.
I'll noodle on that one.
Because I'm not going to say every theme song is just so great, so catchy that you have to see it.
No, but there's certain ones like you even start to hear 1 or 2, 3 notes and you're just like instant.
Yeah.
It's that show. I'm thinking of that show. Because some of them would have been popular songs.
Sure.
Even, that were on the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, Friends is the first one that comes to mind for sure because of how viral all of it went.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just a beast of its own. But yeah, that would be fun.
Oh, yeah. Clickbait headlines was something else that I thought would be fun.
We could bitch forever about that.
Yeah, because let me tell you what.
And try not to make it a bitch fest. Like, we could find some fun things too.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that because that was another thing too that was kind of the plan here. We're going to try to remain as positive as possible. And I know that is not the way to grow in this social media world today. You have to be negative.
I think we can have both. I just don't want it to be one of those things where it's always complaining. Because even me, and maybe other people are different, but me as a listener, I can't just listen to belly aching every week for hours on end.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, sure, of course, something big happens. I might be fired up about the same thing. Misery loves company sort of situation, you know. But every single time, it's just not entertainment for myself personally.
Sure. And that was actually one of the things I wanted to kind of couple on with our listener suggestions, should we get any, is perhaps there's a movie or a TV show or a game or something that someone is just like, oh man, I'd really love if you would talk about, X. And maybe we're just not there.
I don't want to talk about Twitter. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think we've done that already.
So,
sorry, it was a bad joke on you saying
that. but it's that idea that perhaps the suggestion is not our cup of tea. Now, we don't want you to feel like you shouldn't suggest anything because we might not like it. Yeah. We do want to take suggestions. We do want to look through them and say, ooh, this would be fun. This would be fun. Even if maybe we're not the biggest fans of it. Maybe we can find
still hear our opinion on it.
Yeah, maybe we can find something on it, and even for anything,
or watch it if it's a movie or something, or a song,
sure,
or, a music video, a YouTube commentary, a reactor you want us to watch, a comedian you want us to listen. I'll do it.
Yeah. And
given us a week, I can watch a movie in a week. Maybe a TV series, depends on how long the series is when you suggest it.
Right.
If it's 7 seasons, you might have to give me a minute.
But I think that's very fair. So we will give it a shot if we haven't already, and we will try to remain as positive as we can. But like you said, we're not going to come in here with like hardcore negativity, being like, that was fucking stupid, and whoever likes it is fucking stupid.
I have 10 reasons why this was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Point 1.
We will do our due diligence and try to see what you see. If this is a thing that you really love. Now, if it's something you just absolutely hate, there's a chance we could absolutely love it. And we're just going to be like, oh, absolutely.
Conversation.
And you can tell us when you suggest it that you love it or hate it, or you don't have to say anything at all. Maybe you just want to throw it out there and see not
taint the pool at all with your opinion.
Yeah.
Just like here.
Because you're curious. You're just like, I've never heard them talk about this. Or maybe they said something in passing and now I'm curious. So I'm going to throw it out there. Expand upon that. And we will. I think it would be fun because that also gives you, the siblings, an opportunity to kind of shape the show in some way with your suggestions. And like I said, we've got a list, both of us, a mile long.
I feel like this could go on a while.
Sure.
I just like anything, honestly.
So with that in mind, we have our stuff, and then you can have your stuff, and then that we create this beautiful, magical thing together. You know? And I think that's the fun part is listener engagement. Because we've always tried to engage you in the past, and sometimes you take it, and sometimes you don't.
We did pretty good in the Discord.
Sure.
I think, I don't know. Again, I still can't blame people because I lurk hard on things I like also. I rarely engage for them. I know they want me to, but I watch your YouTube. I'll hit the like, but I'm not going to go comment anything. I don't know. I guess nothing compels me enough to feel like engaging in what could be an argument on the internet with a stranger.
Right.
Because not everyone can let people like things. So there's always that person who's got to come in there. Well, of course you would like it, but this is wrong. And it's like, oh my God. I just wanted to say, hey, nice job. Love the video.
And that's not what we're going to do here. If you love a thing and we don't, you can love that forever. And our opinions do not shape or should not change your opinion in the slightest.
As I've always said, if everyone had the same tastes, this world would be frickin' dull. We'd all love the same wine. We'd all love the same show, the same music, the same movie. What the hell would we have to talk about?
Right. I mean, some people...
You do you.
Some people love Coke. Some people love Pepsi. What's the difference? I'm not sure.
Really? You can't tell the difference between those.
A little.
Yo.
No, a little.
A little?
Yeah, a little.
A little?
And
yeah, we're going to have to talk about that then because there's a giant difference. You put those two in front of me, I could tell you instantly after a taste test which was which.
Okay. I mean,
almost the smell, I bet I could too. I bet I could. Or I'm sorry, what's the grammar proper way so you guys don't yell at me for saying that and we derail on that?
I don't know.
That's another thing I'd love to talk about. Grammar Nazis. Just saying.
And we could do that. We could do that on the show. Have a can of Coke, can of Pepsi, and see.
I think everyone should be yelling at you right now, going, Steven, there's no way you can't tell the difference. There's no way.
Honestly, there is a difference, and I do have a preference. Am I going to tell you what that is? No.
I'm going to wait.
Because that's an episode.
That is.
That is an episode. I seriously doubt I've mentioned that on the show before prior, so...
I don't know if we've ever had a conversation about Coke and Pepsi.
But
or soda, really.
I also hope that it's not going to be confusing, because I just thought about this too. It's not going to be confusing for anyone listening to the show. We're still in our feed that we were before. We thought this would be, as opposed to starting a whole new feed for the show, you still know where to find us. It's still here. You might see some name changes on some older episodes just to kind of brand them Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo, and then everything going forward will be Super Mega Crash Beyond. So it shouldn't affect your listening. We're just making it easier for you to find us because as long as I said, don't unsubscribe.
Yeah,
I remember saying that. Just hang on.
A little bit of seeds early.
Yeah. Because I knew. And if you unsubscribed, you'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So as long as you're still subscribed to our podcast on your listening app or whatever you have, Good Pod, Spotify, Apple, all the things, we're still there, and you will still get new episodes right here. So we have a lot of ideas. The format will probably stay the same for the most part, but I also feel like I have some ideas, and I don't want to say too much right now. But
we want you to come back and be surprised.
So there's a possibility you may get more than one episode a week if things pan out, and we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. I don't want to overextend ourselves or anything like that. But it just depends. But we're playing with this. We're trying it out, and I'm excited because I get to talk to my best friend about things that I love, and I hope everyone's going to enjoy the conversations. I hope you keep coming back. And I'd love, love, love to hear from all the siblings about what you want us to talk about. Whatever it may be.
We've still got topics, so we're not using you for content.
No.
Fodder.
Like I said, we've got
plenty.
We both have a list a mile long. So we have plenty to talk about. And I don't think that there's going to be an end to things we could talk about.
I mean, how could we when we're leaving it this open?
Right.
To whatever we want.
Beyond limits, people. That is the beauty.
We're going to do it.
So
you love it.
I
think they will.
So you've gotten a taste, and if you're curious, if you loved our banter and this is your first time here, welcome. And I hope that you will join us again for our first official episode next week. And you just let us know. I hope you're excited for this journey that we're on, going into the unknown.
We are. I hope you are. I hope you'll probably be able to tell we're having so much fun.
Oh,
yes.
So
just,
And episodes, I can't tell you if they'll be, because with Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo, we had so much to talk about, news, reviews, and all that stuff. So we'd usually go on about 2 hours.
Right. I mean, it could.
So, I guess that's another thing I do want to kind of lay out. We may have 2 hour long episodes as usual, depending on what the topic is. We may have just 30-minute episodes, It could
some real
vary.
Quick we needed to chat about.
Yeah. So it's a free-for-all. The show is going to be whatever we can make it, and we just hope that the energy and everything that we're just kind of laying out there to the public, you're just excited. You want to come back and hear our conversations, whatever it is, and maybe it'll get you intrigued and interested in things that maybe you were unaware of, or maybe you hadn't possibly seen through a certain lens. Because I've got
a new perspective.
a few things. One thing I'm so excited to talk about in particular that I do not want to share specifically, but when I think about it, for me, it's something that I feel like no one ever talks about. It's forgotten, but it is so good that I feel it really needs to be reassessed because there's so much good stuff there that it needs to be revisited for a lot of reasons. And I hate that it has been lost to time and just kind of buried under things, I guess, if you will. And I'm trying to be very vague, but
you are doing a great job because I have no idea.
Yeah, but I have so many deep feelings for this thing, and I'm hoping that I can reinvigorate the audience and make you all listen to my passion for it and be like, I really want to watch that, you know, and see what he's talking about. So fingers crossed that's what we can do. And that's kind of the goal, is just get you excited, maybe make you think a different way about some of the things that you have, or introduce you to things that you didn't even know existed. That kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
So
and being excited that you have no idea what you're going to get each week.
That's
It'll be
right.
a nice, fun surprise.
It's a random ball of chance.
Right? We may not even know for sure each week. We'll see. We'll see.
So siblings, stay tuned. We look forward to hearing from you. I hope you're excited that we're back. And
same.
We will see you next week.
Bye.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.